Yo, what up, y'all? It's your boy Rob coming back at you once again with another live stream. So before we get started, you already know what to do. If you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit the bell icon twice. Smash the like button, share this video out to all of your followers, and let's get it cracking, all right? So shout out to everybody that's in the room already. It's good to see each and every one of you guys here. I hope you guys enjoyed the live streaming of the debate last night. If you guys saw the live streaming of the debate last night, make sure you guys give a thumbs up. Make sure you guys show some love to Kid Gravity. He's the one that organized and coordinated that. It's unfortunate that the circumstances, had occurred where it had to be streamed only on YouTube on my channel. So make sure you guys go show him some love. Make sure y'all go subscribe to his channel on Rumble and check out the debate. All right. And I think he said that he's going to download and cut up some clips and upload them to YouTube. So shout out to Kid Gravity for that. All right. If you guys can hear me okay, give me that thumbs up. Give me that radiation emoji in the chat. I'm going to give some acknowledgments to everybody that's in the building. Shout out to my man, Carlton Way. We got Torian Rain in the building. We got Lena L in the building. We got Bronze of God in the house. We got Carlton Way. We got Terrence Hooker. Shout out to everybody that's here, all right? So I got a lot of content that I want to do today, so I'm going to try to get it all in, all right? So if you guys are not subscribed to all of the channels, make sure that you take a moment and subscribe to all of the channels, all right? This stream, when it ends, is going to take you into a premiere window for Reacts podcast. So make sure you guys hang around after this stream, and it'll take you right into that next content on Reacts. All right. So I don't know if you guys happen to see, but Abba and Preach dropped another video, yet another one, on Fresh and Fit. And you know how that goes. Anytime Fresh and Fit takes an L, because basically anytime they open up their mouths, they take an L. Abba and Preach run that checkup, and I'm not mad at them. So we're going to react to Abba and Preach's video, all right? But something that went under my radar was that your girl, Just Pearly Things, made a response, all right? She made a reaction, and she made a reaction to the demonetization of Fresh and Fit. So first, we're going to check out what Just Pearly Things said. Now, here's my question for you guys. What do you guys think Just Pearly Things said? Do you guys think that Just Pearly Things criticized Fresh and Fit for not being accountable and actually gave an honest commentary? Or do you think she's going to do a bunch of splaining? You guys think she's going to do a bunch of splaining? What do you guys think that she's going to do? I don't know. I haven't watched it yet. So this is a raw reaction, all right? So we're going to see exactly what she's talking about. And it's funny, man. That live stream that Brittany Venti did about her, man, it must have hit her soul. It must have hit her all the way down to the core, because she's wearing a lot of orange. You guys notice that in a lot of these new videos, most of the new content that she's coming with that's being posted, she's wearing a lot of orange. Man, that's crazy when somebody's reaction video or when somebody's diss video at you hits you to the point where you actually take the criticism and change yourself around how they critiqued you. That's wild. You know what I'm saying? So let's check this out.
Next on the list, Fresh and Fit got demonetized. So as you guys know, I actually am a big fan of Fresh and Fit. So, it's funny because in my early days.
Now, remember, she says that she's a fan of Fresh and Fit, but she was never a fan of Fresh and Fit before. The only reason why she's a fan of Fresh and Fit now is because of all of the critiques that Abba and Preach have done about her. So it's more of an opportunistic fandom. It's not a legitimate fandom, if you ask me. Rolo Tomasi has gone in on her. Fresh and Fit even went in on her. But opportunistically, now all of a sudden, she's Fresh and Fit's biggest fan. Pay close attention to that. And if you guys, are into this kind of stuff and you don't really know the history, watch a couple reaction videos. They don't even have to all be from my channel. Watch them from all over, and you will see exactly what I'm saying here. Torian says she looks like Nemo. Hey, if you guys agree with Torian and you guys think that she looks like Nemo, give me a thumbs up. She definitely looks like a clown and a fish at the same time. So that's interesting. You know what I'm saying? Carlton says, how come she isn't demonetized? She made the song about the Sombreritos. That's a good question. It might be coming. It might be on its way. You know what I'm saying? You never know how that's going to go. You never know what's going to end up happening with that.
Some of the stuff that Myron would say would be a bit like triggering. Like I think there's some lefty channels that have pulled up clips of, because when you first see Red Pill.
Some lefty channels. So now what we're doing is we're politicizing facts. So to have a critique of what Myron has said or done, you have to be a quote unquote lefty channel. Let me ask you guys this. All right. I know we got some hardcore Democrats in the chat. We got any hardcore Democrats? If we got any hardcore Democrats, throw your thumbs up. All right. If you are not a lefty, put a radiation emoji in the chat. Torian said that woman looks like Carrie. She wishes that she was Carrie. The only thing she ever set on fire was her microwave when she tried to cook something. You know what I'm saying?
Advice or Red Pill, I guess content, it really does switch your entire worldview because you think the world is one way and it's not. So when I would first hear about, for example, guys not wanting to get married, getting married is stupid.
I think that there's a large amount of the population that always knew that the world was a certain way. And honestly, I think that it's these quote unquote red pill people who are still lost in the sauce. And when I say these quote unquote red pill people, I'm talking about people like Just Pearly Things. I'm talking about people like Fresh and Fit. If you ask me, a lot of those self-proclaimed people who are quote unquote red pilled, they're not red pilled about anything. They're not red pilled about a damn thing. If you listen to a lot of the stuff that they say, it's the same as the bastardization of the word woke. They've basically remixed a bunch of talking points that we have known all along, that people within our circle came up with, created, standardized, and have been saying forever. It's the same situation as Donald Trump running around talking about the fake news. Malcolm X said fake news long time ago. These people pick and choose and remix it to suit their agenda. None of these people are red-pilled about anything. Let me ask you guys a question. What reality are Fresh and Fit, quote-unquote, red-pilled on? Delivering messages that have awakened you to the inconsistencies of the world that you didn't already know. Just Pearly Things. What kind of sage knowledge have you gotten from Just Pearly Things? Any? At all? Shout out to my man AJ. What's good with it? And shout out to Denise. What's good with you? Real quick, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys have not smashed that like button, make sure you guys take a moment, smash that like button. Also, if you guys have not hit that bell and subscribe to the channel, make sure you guys take a moment, hit the bell and subscribe to the channel. And remember, make sure you guys hit the backup channels as well. I know for a fact I'm going to be going live on Crimecast a little bit later, and there's some other stuff going on. I found it interesting, and I tagged Kid Gravity in this on Twitter. Did you guys find it interesting that no one in the RNC debate talked about BRICS, right? Speaking of red pill, the financial system, the monetary system, right? Because that's a whole rabbit hole, right? No candidate talked about BRICS, but immediately after the debates, BRICS was trending. Hey, shout out to Carlton Way. Fresh and Fit taught me how to get demonetized. Facts. Facts. Shout out to my man Maxwell Jenkins. What's good with you? If Fresh and Fit taught you how to get demonetized in one easy step, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Think Media. You know what I'm saying? Give me a thumbs up.
I would think, well, I have married parents. Why is it stupid? But when it comes down to it, and you look at the state of the modern chick, the state of the average woman.
Now check this out, right? Here goes a red pill question, because I think honestly, quote unquote, red pill is more about questioning, right? Because you could go in a complete circle, right? You could look at the world and say the world is nothing like what we've been taught, but it could actually be your perception, right? And then once you start to understand the way that the world works and you test certain scientific theories over time, then you may come full circle and come to the conclusion the world is exactly how I thought it was. It's always been. That's where you get the world is correct from. So what I find interesting, shout out to THPP Network. How many of y'all are subscribed to my man THPP Network? The homies over there. If y'all not subscribed to THPP Network, make sure y'all go over there and check them out, right? Because they just recently did a video. Shout out to my man Tarek down there. They just recently did a video about Corey Holcomb, right? And if I'm not mistaken, the theme of that video said, dusty men and women are the reason why society is falling apart, families are falling apart, and that he said women don't know how to choose men properly, right? Me personally, I believe that men and women have issues choosing each other. I don't think that it's a one-sided thing. What do you guys think? If you guys think that that's accurate, give me a thumbs up. If you guys don't, then give me a thumbs down. Shout out to Speak Facts Podcast. What's good with you, bro? So it takes me back to thinking about arranged marriages, right? And when I was younger, I never understood. Like, I would see people from other cultures, you know what I'm saying? And I would be like, man, that's got to be crazy. How could you be happy with an arranged marriage? Man, that's crazy. Like, man, that's your parents taking away all your freedom. Why would anybody do that? Why would anybody want to be a part of that? That's tyranny. I always thought that, right? And I still think that it might, it might kind of infringe on the autonomy of the child. It might infringe on the autonomy of your son and daughter. But it's interesting, though, because if your mother and father are still together and they've been together for a long time, who would be better to give you advice or even go ahead and go the next step and actually make the choice for you than your parents in showing you who it is that's best matched for you to create a prosperous life? Now, to me, I couldn't fathom that when I was younger, because like I said, I'm a bad boy. I'm a bad boy. You know what I'm saying? I got authority issues. I had authority issues in school. I had authority issues at home. I don't like listening to people. I don't like following anybody's advice. I like doing my own thing. I've always been one of those kind of fish that swim against the school. You know what I'm saying? But then I thought about it, right? And I sat down and I was like, that just makes a lot of sense. And then as I started to read into it and look at it and actually talk to people from other cultures who are actually in arranged marriages, their marriages actually work out. Their marriages actually last. Now, am I telling you to go dictate who your son or daughter marries? No. The reason why I'm saying that is because it's just interesting how, as an older custom and an older tradition, people have kind of gotten away from that. And as people have gotten away from that, the relationship lifespan on average has severely not only decreased, but deteriorated in quality. Now, in the beginning, right, as I'm looking at this, I would be like, yo, that's some blue pilled stuff, man. Your parents gonna tell you who to marry? Man, that's crazy. Don't you want your own autonomy? Don't you want to make your own decisions? But then when you actually look at the statistics, when you actually look at those cultures, and when you actually look at how those are the cultures that are raising the quote unquote women, quote unquote, that the passport bros are seeking. It's just interesting how all of that stuff comes full circle. But you wouldn't get that kind of information from just Pearly Things. You wouldn't get that kind of information from a Myron Gaines. You wouldn't get that kind of information from a Fresh Prince CEO. And again, I'm not saying this as fact. If you disagree with my observation, I'm not going to call you names. I'm not going to Frank Castle you. It's just an observation. It's just something that I see. And I just want to compare my thoughts to other people. See if you guys have noticed similar patterns. Because at the end of the day, the world is all about patterns. Everything is based on a pattern. People use this concept called quote unquote random. And if you ask me, random is a filler concept. No offense to anybody that's Christian. No offense to anybody that's, religious. But if you ask me, I believe that God is a filler concept. And when I say a filler concept, there's a lot of things that people can't explain, whether it's because of human limitations, whether it's because of cognitive limitations, whether it's because of sensory limitations, whether it's because of information limitations, whether it's because of information processing limitations, whether it's because of environmental tolerance limitations. But there's a lot of limitations that humans have that don't allow us to understand every single thing in its totality. And because humans, if you ask me, have a built-in grandiose complex, anything that we don't understand, whether it's reflexive, whether it's instinct, or whether it's learned, there's a tendency to fill it in with an explainable, unexplainable phenomenon. Would you guys agree that that's a pattern? If something good happens unexpected, oh, it's luck. Or it's a blessing, right? If something bad happens, it's bad luck or it's a curse. Or because of the day that it was on, right? But if you go back and trace most events have a chronological cascade of events that led to the outcome that you're looking at. Most things can be explained with a scientific explanation, with a building block explanation. In most cases, there's a root cause for every event. The purpose of that event may not be able to be explained, but that doesn't matter. What matters is, can we start at T-1 and get to the current time period with a logical, reasonable, scientific explanation of how we came from the beginning to the end? And in most cases, we can. We may not have all the answers today, but usually over time, we come up with those answers. Would you guys agree? If you guys agree with that, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down. So I'm saying that to say this. The concept of random, if you ask me, is similar to the concept of nothing. Is similar to the concept of quote unquote God. We've done this before, but we're going to do it again. Somebody describe actual nothing. Anybody in the comment section, somebody visualize it, sit back, relax, think about it. What does actual nothing mean? That literally means the absence of everything known, not just to you, but everything known and everything in actual existence. Somebody give me a description of that in the comment section. It's a filler concept. In math, we have filler concepts. You guys know negative square roots, imaginary numbers, erroneous solutions. Those are filler concepts for math. No one can show you with a actual physical representation of what a unit of something in an imaginary number would be. If I say count to imaginary 1, what does imaginary 1 look like? If you have imaginary $1, what does imaginary 1 look like? Now, in math, you have to have imaginary numbers, or else you're not able to complete a problem where there's a square root with a negative number under it, correct? You have to have the imaginary number, because the imaginary number times the other imaginary number is what makes it positive, so that you could isolate that -1 outside the square root and take the actual square root of the number inside of it. What about erroneous solutions to square root equations? What does an erroneous solution look like? It could possibly exist, but we don't know. It's just a filler concept. So we got filler concepts all over the place. If you ask me, there's no such thing as random. Random is a filler concept that simply represents a space holder of a pattern that we've been unable to detect yet. If there was no pattern for anything that was random, then there really wouldn't be equations that generate patterns similar to randomness, right? But there are. So I'm saying that to say this. Does the red pill actually peel back a layer of the veil and give you insights to what an actual base reality looks like? It may. Who knows? Who knows? But these people like to use these Matrix allegories, right? Even in the Matrix, after Neo took the red pill, there was still processes that Neo had to go through before he was truly ready to embrace his powers, until he was truly ready to be able to manipulate the Matrix and understand it, right? Let me ask you guys a question. What did Neo have to do after he took the red pill? There was a lot of processes. And what's interesting about it is that these quote unquote red pill content creators, none of them really ever discussed those processes. When Neo took the red pill, he was still inside the Matrix. He was still lost. Somebody had to find him. Somebody had to nurse him back to health. Then once he was nursed back to health, he had to learn how to fight. He had to learn how to understand himself. And he had to learn actual history, not the history that was taught to him inside the Matrix. Shout out to Black Star Racer and shout out to Mamoon. The Matrix history told him that it was the late 90s, early 2000s. Everything was all good and humanity was at its peak civilization. That's what the Matrix told him. After his red pill conditioning, he was able to understand and see that that's not the way that the world was at all. I got you, Senpai. I could tutor you in calculus. I actually, that used to be my job when I was in college. I used to be a tutor at the Math and Science Center in math. So there's all kinds of conditioning that needs to be done. What kind of conditioning is done? What kind of conditioning do these online content creators encourage people to do? These people right here have created their own matrix. And they want to bring in as many people into their matrix as they can. Which is interesting. Because as the last, most recent matrix came out, it showed that somehow Neo was back in the matrix. And everything was familiar, yet so unfamiliar. And Neo had doubts about reality, right? But he lived in it anyway. And then it was revealed to him that his doubts were accurate. Shout out to Bert. What's good with it? It was revealed that his doubts were accurate. So he went full circle and found out that the world is correct. These people never show you how to find out that the world is correct. Shout out to Drevlock. Drevlock said Neo had to travel the 3 deaths: death of illusion, death of ignorance, and death of ego. And notice how Neo came with that 3 concept. And remember, Neo couldn't exist without his love for Trinity. But it's a lot of references like that in the Matrix. You know what I'm saying? But these are the people that claim to understand this stuff. Shout out to my man John. What's good with it, bro? These are the people that claim to understand this stuff. Now, here's my question for you. How deeply do you think that these guys actually understand? Do you think that they understand at a novice level, at an intermediate level, at an expert level, at a Jedi level? What level do these people actually understand reality at? If you ask me, they don't understand it at all. I don't understand reality at all. I'm still learning. I learn stuff every single day. There's nobody that has all of the answers. But if you let these people tell you, they got them all. Here's my question. Out of watching this kind of content, what questions have you ever had that you just couldn't find the answer to until you watch these people? What question? Probably none. Because these people's content is so shallow, it doesn't even get into the deeper level of consciousness that you need to train yourself to be able to maintain on a daily basis to actually operate in base reality. And they don't want that. Because if you develop that, then you will realize what's going on here. These people have created their own reality These people have created their own construct based on loose associations and nonsensical talking points. And that's not healthy for anybody. But the world is correct. And something may persist for a long time, or it may persist for a short time. But ultimately, at the end of the day, if it's not thorough, if there's no integrity in it, the world is correct. And it's going to ultimately decay. And that's what we're watching.
Most women have had sex with multiple men. Most women, 1 out of 3 has had an abortion. 1 out of 3 or 4 has had an STD. And it's just, when you start looking at these stats and realizing that men are just reacting to the modern woman, it really puts the onus on women to become better so men want to get married again. But you remember early on.
Hey, here go my question. All these women that got these STDs that she's talking about, where did they get the STDs from? Here's the thing, right? Society is selling a culture of degeneracy, and it's a concerted effort. The medical industry is in on it. The music industry is in on it. The media is in on it. Hollywood is in on it, and everybody's being affected by it. If you isolate and concentrate on one group, you're never going to figure out the cause and effects to why the world is the way that it is, because the world is a interlocking, constant, dynamic, not static, always in motion system. Look at the statistics of people in general who have STDs. We just recently had a STD damn near epidemic. They have STD epidemics in Europe all the time. Every single year, if you read any media from Europe, from UK especially, there's almost always a penicillin-resistant strain of gonorrhea or syphilis going on there. Now, why would that be? Hygiene habits. But also, if people are engaging in sexual activities more, and they're engaging in deeply intimate sexual behaviors with people that they met for a shorter duration of time than what would normally be the case, it's going to be a lot easier to spread those diseases. And that right there is why you see the increase of STDs. That's why you see the increase of STDs. And on top of it, the medical industry encourages people, the medical industry encourages people to go ahead and do whatever you want to. We got a pill or an insert that'll make things okay. Right? And you don't have to be as cautious anymore because we have these things available to you. So go ahead, YOLO, live it up, do whatever you want to do. That may be what you want to do right now. But the world isn't setting you up for long-term decision making. And if you ask me, that's what people need to kind of get back to. Long-term decision making, strategic planning, and making better decisions aimed at living a productive life. If men are living a pump and dump culture, that's going to spread STDs to everybody. It's kind of hard to call out women when you're encouraging people to pump and dump. That's what these guys are getting upset about women at, because women are pumping and dumping. If men want to be an influence and make a better society, then instead of whining and instead of actually listening to somebody like Just Pearly Things, who actually doesn't care about any of these issues, then what men need to do is develop powerful networks obtain resources and assets, weaponize those resources and assets to take control over their environment and utilize that control to shape reality and shape the world into the world that is your ideal world. Not be a consumer of circumstance. If you guys agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down. And also make sure you guys thumbs up the video. Shout out to my man John Guillory for checking everybody on those likes. We got 52 in the chat and 28 likes. Smash that like button, hit that bell. Shout out to Black Star Racer and shout out to Lloyd Sky 9 and shout out to In the World Today. What's good with y'all?
Yeah, I just a lot of this stuff was triggering to hear. But then you watch more and more and you see how much these guys really do care about men. They really do. And I genuinely do believe they save lives because the information they put out, they help guys get in better shape. They help guys deal with women, especially modern women. Like a lot of guys will say.
Let me ask you guys a question. We got 51 people watching, 50 people watching. I want somebody to name some life-saving advice that Fresh and Fit gave. Whose life did Fresh and Fit save? And with what advice did they save it with? That's my question.
Say just find a good woman, but you know it's tough in a society where most women are addicted to attention. The average woman is addicted to attention the same way a guy would be addicted to porn, right? But the difference is one is shamed and one is praised. That's the crazy thing. So yeah, I really do believe they're helping save men. But recently this week it came out that Fresh and Fit are demonetized. So pull the clip.
It sucks, guys. It really does suck. You know, fortunately,
she got a TV in the back. Somebody on a remote control pulling up the clip. Now remember, right? She's a quote unquote hardworking YouTuber. She's a hardworking YouTuber, right? But she's got somebody doing her screen share for her. Just keep that in mind.
we made some moves, etc. You know, and we kind of knew that the type of content that we make, for us to be able to give you this content, we have to.
It comes at a cost.
It comes at a cost, dude.
And it won't be here forever.
Yeah, yeah. And
we
you
know
know,
that going
Fresh
into it.
always said this. You know, enjoy us while you can.
Yeah. They thought we was capping, man.
Yeah.
They thought it was a joke.
And you know, we made moves on the side, knowing that.
Now here goes my question. Why is it that other people that make content very similar to yours still have their platforms and still have their monetization? And the thing is that Fresh and Fit still have their platform. They still have their YouTube account with over 1 million subscribers. They still have that. That is still available to them for use. We're not talking about Edward Snowden or Julian Assange here. Literally no one is coming after Fresh and Fit for anything that they've done. They don't have any cures to any rare diseases. They don't have any nuclear weapon secrets. What is it that they have that everybody is just after them? I'm going to tell you the reality with Fresh and Fit. They make controversial content. A lot of people make controversial content. There's some people that would say that some of my content and some of the stuff that I say is controversial, right? Fresh and Fit targets people. And when those people that they target react, there's nothing that determines predictability in how those people may react. Some people report, some people complain. There's all kinds of things that could possibly happen. That's what happens when you're quote unquote going after people. Fresh and Fit got the best of this deal. They got the best of this deal. They still got their platform. I guarantee you that without monetization, if they change their strategy, they could make just as much money as they made with monetization. You guys agree? If you guys agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down. If their content was that bad as they want to make everybody feel that it was, they would have gotten completely erased, like Alex Jones, like Andrew Tate, like those people. But they didn't get completely erased. The reason why is because they're not delivering anything groundbreaking. They got demonetized simply because they don't know how to follow the rules. That's it. Not because of the nature of their content. Not because they have just the most secret knowledge that if you get it, there's no government in the world that wants you to get it. None of that. Simply couldn't follow the rules. That's all. No more, no less. Interpol's not looking for them. The FBI's not looking for them. The CIA's not looking for them. The KGB's not looking for them. What's that British secret agency called? The M5 or something like that? They're not looking for it. Nobody's looking for them. The Mossad's not looking for them. No one's looking for them. No one's checking for you guys. The artificial intelligence checked you guys' content and said, these people are breaking community guidelines. That's it. MI6. Thank you, 225 girl. MI6. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Just saying.
This could potentially happen. And guys, we the channel has been kicked off the YouTube partner program. Just keep it straight.
If you look right now, you can't even super chat or
you can't even super chat right now.
Yep.
So this is the beginning of the end of this era.
So we are in trolling chat. So
yeah.
Yep.
So you literally can't. Yeah, man. So it's so basically we're gonna figure out what's going on because we don't even really know all the details. We're working with YouTube to try to come to a middle ground and work together and figure this out. But for now,
we don't even know why.
We don't know the specific reason.
But we don't in any form or fashion hate YouTube or want to go at them. We're just saying, you know what, we wish we knew the reason why, but we respect, for them to use the platform and keeping us here for a while. And we appreciate it.
Yeah.
But
and the thing is that you guys know, right, on this pod, we push the edge, right? We push the envelope. We're not going to lie about that. Like, we give you guys the real deal when it comes to getting in shape, when it comes to
money, girls,
dating, improving yourself.
Listen, let me ask you guys something. Have you guys ever heard of a magazine called Men's Health? If you guys have heard of the magazine called Men's Health, give me a thumbs up. If you guys haven't, give me a thumbs down. Have you ever heard of GQ? Same thing. You know what's crazy about those? They're still being published. Who's ever heard of Maxim? Who's ever heard of Playboy? Guess what? Those things are still being published. Who's ever watched porn? Guess what? You can still buy porn. Who's ever been to a strip club? Guess what? They're still open. All of those things, some of them go way beyond what Fresh and Fit do. Fresh and Fit be having women on there, but they got all their clothes on. Fresh and Fit be having women on there, but they not doing nothing, no, except for talking. All of those institutions are still up. But I guarantee you, if a strip club was serving alcohol and they didn't have a liquor license, guess what would happen to them? I'm gonna ask you guys that question. If a strip club didn't have a liquor license and they served alcohol, or if it was in a place where you're only allowed to have the top off and everything was off, what would happen to that strip club? The regulatory agency would probably come around and shut it down, like Onyx and DMX. Shut it down. Shut it down. You know what I'm saying? It's probably what would happen. Why? Not because they were giving intimate secrets or because they were empowering men. None of that. Simply because they didn't follow the rules. You know what I'm saying? Simply because they didn't follow the rules. That's not that difficult to understand. There's no conspiracy theory here. Let me ask you guys a question. How many episodes did Fresh and Fit do talking about the C19 juice? Did they say anything about Fauci? How many episodes did they do about Ukraine? They did do a couple about Ukraine. All these people do is take the top talking points from all of the think tanks. And if you listen to this nonsense, you'll hear every single thing that we heard in the RNC debate. And they get paid for it because they got a lot of subscribers. And they go about their business and have a good day and spend all their money and, you know, do whatever it is that they do. It's not rocket science. You're not doing anything special or monumental or anything like that. They don't have any information on 9/11, inside information. They don't have any inside information on whether the UFOs are real or not. They never did an episode and showed exactly where Jimmy Hoffa was. Like, none of this has happened. They're not delivering it like that. You know what I mean? But if you listen to them, though, you would think that they read CIA files unredacted all the time, and they don't. There's a bunch of adult children sitting around the table expressing their opinions, sometimes in an offensive way. And sometimes in that offensive way, they break the guidelines on YouTube. That's the only thing that happened to them. No, literally no more, literally no less. There is no conspiracy theory here. Would you, if you guys agree that there's no conspiracy theory here, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree and there is a conspiracy theory, please let me know what that conspiracy theory is.
Yourself, etc. And unfortunately, to be able to give people real advice that they can take in real life and apply to the real world, you have to have uncomfortable conversations about uncomfortable topics in uncomfortable times. Guys, it's about to be an election year. You know what I mean? We're talking about certain points, and we brought up certain points that might not be politically correct, right?
Like what? Politics isn't politically correct. Politics isn't politically correct. Everybody talks about things that may be quote unquote uncomfortable. The interesting thing about it is that Myron gets uncomfortable. Shout out to my man KO Kid Fit. What's good with it? And shout out to Hansel. Appreciate the thumbs up. Yeah, it's a cop-out, Tori. In facts. We're talking about the election. What are you talking about? I haven't seen them. Let me ask you guys a question. Shout out to Kid Gravity and shout out to Torian with that collab that we did on the debates last night. I want somebody to put the link in the chat to the episode of Fresh and Fit or the episodes where they discussed each of those political candidates who was on the RNC debate stage. I want to see where Fresh and Fit discussed them. Shout out to Kid Gravity. Speaking of the devil. If I recall correctly, Fresh and Fit never discussed any of those political candidates. Let me ask you guys a question. When it comes to politics, what are the most controversial issues that will put your platform in danger if you talk about them? I want you guys to name them in the comment section. Give me a list of controversial issues not to talk about that could possibly get you canceled politically. Not conspiracy theory stuff, actual political topics.
That might not necessarily align with everyone's viewpoints, right? And we've worked really hard to bring people on that have different viewpoints, right? Some of them very controversial, some of them that may or may not.
How hard did they work to get Tariq Nasheed and Umar Johnson on there? Now, one thing that they did get on there was they got Charleston White on there to say some odd stuff. They did that. Why didn't they work as hard to get Tariq Nasheed or Umar Johnson on there? You know, and it's interesting. I never really saw Fresh and Fit attack people that they wanted to get on the show. But they attacked Umar Johnson and they attacked Tariq Nasheed. And then when Tariq Nasheed agreed to come on the show, then they backed out. How hard are you working to get people that you don't agree with on the show if you're backing out? They didn't get Abba and Preach on the show because they didn't agree with Abba and Preach, because they didn't know at the time that they didn't agree with Abba and Preach. They brought Abba and Preach on the show because at the time Abba and Preach had far more, which they still do, had far more subscribers than them. So it was a status thing. Once these guys get in the million subscriber club, you know, they circulate around to each other's platforms to shave off subscribers. That's the strategy. That's what they do. If I ever get 1 million subs on YouTube, I'll probably be the only person that doesn't do that, because I don't want to do that. There's not really a lot of people that got 1 million subscribers that's really talking about anything that I give a shit about or am I interested in. And honestly, call it being cocky, call it being confident, or just call it being, you know, nonchalant and stoic. I don't think that I need to go on other people's platforms to gain their audience. I think if people want to listen to shit that I have to say, then they'll listen. And if they don't, then they don't. It is what it is. There's a reason people are subscribed to you, and there's a reason why people aren't subscribed to you. And I'm not petitioning for either one. You know what I'm saying? But that's what these people are doing. Me personally, what I'm interested in is I'm interested in keeping the audience that I have informed and entertained and up to date, regardless of if that's one person or if it's 1 million people. I don't really, not too worried about anything aside from that. You know what I'm saying?
Be politically correct. And that's unfortunately the risk that you take when you make the kind of content that we do.
Even other platforms, look at Rumble. They're taking a huge beating on the stock market.
Yeah.
I mean, they're up.
Despite having one of the best years for revenue and for views and everything. And
so this comes at a cost, no matter who you are. Company, individual, creator.
Yep.
And a lot of you guys want to be aspiring RB creators as well. And I respect that. But just know, at a certain level, it will cost you a price you got to pay. And
guys, we're getting attacked on all angles. I've been like, whether it's the...
So now check this out. Shout out to Hansel. Hansel says, as Myron said, he believes bullying is good and he supports it. And if I'm not mistaken, just Pearly Things said that too. Sounds like bullies from what you just described. Now, Fresh and Fit like bullying people that they're able to bully. But when somebody gives it back to them, they fall apart. They thought that they were going to just bully Abba and Preach. And Abba and Preach was like, nah, we're built for this. And as you can see, Fresh and Fit has they've completely fallen apart. They've completely dismantled themselves. Would you guys agree? If you guys agree that Fresh and Fit have completely fallen apart, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down. And real quick, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys have not smashed that like button, please make sure you guys take a moment, smash that like button. Also, if you guys haven't hit the bell, make sure you guys take a moment and hit the bell. And also make sure that you guys hit that link that's pinned in the comment section with the Discord link on it. Join the Discord to make sure that you never miss any notifications. And also you can chat with subscribers. You can submit topics, content idea, stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And the most important thing, though, you will not miss a notification. So make sure that you guys hit that link that is in the comment section. Okay.
Press writing articles on us, videos getting taken down that other channels are not getting taken down, and it's the same exact content or whatever it may be. Rumble getting hit, right? For
shout out to Retro Gaming B1. What's good with it, bro?
Free speech, video, like just get strikes, whatever it may be. Guys, it's got to the point now where even where we shoot the location doesn't want us to stay here.
Yeah.
I didn't want to fucking have to say that shit. I really don't want to have to admit that. I wanted to just move.
So let me ask you guys a question. If you live in an apartment complex and they have rules about noise and they have rules about how many people can park in the parking lot that are visiting you, and you break those rules repeatedly, let me ask you guys, what's going to happen to you? Is it a conspiracy theory because you're a Democrat, because you're a Republican, because you support certain things? No. It's not a conspiracy theory. The link comes up invalid or expired. Let me see something. How many people having trouble with that Discord link? You guys having trouble with the Discord link? Shout out to Lloyd Sky 9. Appreciate you, bro. Here, I'm gonna put this one in there. Hold on real quick. I'm gonna give you guys the link for the Reacts Discord, but you can get to the BLR one from Reacts. Said the same thing? Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna have to fix the link. It's not supposed to expire, which is crazy. But it is what it is.
Move the studio. Surprise you guys. Yo, yeah. New studio. It's lit, right? But dude, there is a matrix, man. Like, I mean, we talked about this with Andrew at length. Like, people don't want you guys to get this message, dude.
Even Rumble's under attack too,
bro.
From everybody.
Yeah, they're trying to shut Rumble down.
I think at some point there was free speech where it was like, okay, you know what? Yeah. Say what you got to say. We won't crucify you. But nowadays, free speech is kind of like, is it even a thing? I mean, not.
Yeah, free speech is a thing. I'm going to tell everybody something. If you don't think that you have free speech here in America, what I want you to do is I want you to go to St. Petersburg, Russia, or I want you to go to Moscow, Russia, and say Vladimir Putin is the worst president this country has ever had, and see what happens to you. And if you're still alive and not in a casket, let us know how that went. That's not having free speech. Also, if you doubt that, right, another thing that you can do is go to China and say that Xi Jinping is the worst president in the world. Do that. Let me ask you guys a question. If you do those things, what do you think will happen to you?
Oh, really?
And and I've already put a considerable amount of my money into the new studio for you guys. I already put it in. I'm like all in, you know what I mean? And it's okay. I'm never gonna say, I'm doing this, blah, 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 and I hate doing this. I love doing this. I'd be lying to you guys if I didn't say I didn't love doing this. I left a job that I truly loved to do this, right? Because I shouldn't be admitting this, but saving children, right? That was great, but saving you guys is better.
I wanted to point out a couple things. So when men are in a locker room together, speech is very unfiltered. They make.
How do you know? How do you know what goes on in a men's locker room? Just Pearly Things. You spend a little bit of time there.
They make stupid jokes. They make. I mean, I don't. I've never been in one, but I have heard. My.
I don't believe that. I actually think you spent a lot of time in the locker rooms. I think that just Pearly Things spent a lot of time in locker rooms. Men's locker rooms. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, all things Netagene. He just said that. Shout out to my man Yoshimori. What's good with it, bro? This is what we're this is what we're dealing with. This is what we're dealing with.
Brothers, amongst friends, and it's like as a chick, you hear certain stuff, and you're like, oh my gosh, this is how guys
What up
talk.
with it, T?
But it's funny because the manosphere is the men's space on YouTube, and it's so interesting because whenever I have men.
Here's my question. She says that the manosphere is the men's space on YouTube, right? Whether you believe that or not, and honestly, the manosphere goes beyond YouTube, right? From what I understand, the manosphere has a lot of presences on a lot of different social media, right? But my question is, if it is the men's space, then what are you doing there? If it is indeed the men's space, as you so eloquently put it, just Pearly Things, why are you there? What are you doing? What purpose are you serving besides sucking up all the paychecks in the men's locker room? You know what I'm saying? I mean, the men's locker room is a men's space too. Apparently, you're very familiar with men's spaces.
Men have a space where they can just talk freely. Women feel the need to police it. So that's where you'll get women that come in and say, well,
right. Kind of like what you're doing, talking about reaction channels, right? Like, people like Fresh and Fit are the only ones who should say anything. Everything that they say is the truth. And reaction channels don't know anything that they're talking about. Reaction channels shouldn't exist. Yada, 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 blah, 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 hee, hee, ha, ha. Let me ask you guys a question. Is just Pearly Things literally doing everything that she says shouldn't be done? Is she policing men's spaces? I think if you ask me, she is. She's definitely policing men's spaces. But she feels that that's what women are doing. And when I say women policing men's spaces, that's what I'm talking about the two quote unquote gynocracies. You know how you hear these dudes on YouTube talk about the gynocracy. And if you disagree with anything that they say, oh, you're a gynocratic, gynocracy. How many times have you heard that cringe ass shit on YouTube? And gynocracy. Half the dudes sitting there talking about gynocracy got gynomastia. While you're sitting there talking about gynocracy and you got a full set of gynocratic pecs on your chest. You know what I'm saying? But there's two gynocracies, though. There's the one gynocracy where there's a lot of misandry, right? A lot of people don't like men You know what I'm saying? More specifically, a lot of women got problems with black men. You know what I'm saying? And then there's the other gynocracy. And the other gynocracy is the side of the coin where the very guys who want to criticize these women simp for any woman that says anything that they want to hear. And a lot of those women control a lot of the narratives. So there's two gynocracies. But the simps stay silent on the other one. They only call out the ones that be, saying things that they may not agree with or criticizing them. They don't call out the grift gynocracy, the one like Just Pearly Things and all these female content creators that don't have a relationship or a man to show for it, but are giving male advice and claiming that women need to be a certain way that they don't even have any examples of themselves being. Yeah, I agree, Kid Gravity. Facts. And people really don't say anything about it. I think they're giving these people a little bit of grace. Maybe possibly, maybe quite possibly, a little bit too much grace.
Funny because, the manosphere is the men's space on YouTube. And it's so interesting because whenever men have a space where they can just talk freely, women feel the need to police it. So that's where you'll get women that come in and say, well, it's about how you say it. You need to say it in a more feminine way, is essentially what they're saying. And that's why you can kind of tell when men are like led by some women in their lives, because they're always going to come in and say it's your tone, it's the way you say it, rather than is the information.
So what do you think that, here's my question, right? So she's criticizing men who are led by women, but if she has male subscribers, is she influencing those men? So again, she's literally doing everything that she says is a bad thing for men. And I got to agree, Kid Gravity, when you're 7 feet tall and you wear a size 22 shoe like Shaquille O'Neal, I don't really know what kind of femininity lessons that you can give, but whatever. Continue.
Information correct, because women care about how things are said. Men care about if things are true, right? And it's interesting too, because I've been to do a video about Fresh and Fit, and the title is Fresh and Fit are in tears as YouTube kicks them out.
And guys, the channel has been kicked off the YouTube partner program. I shouldn't be admitting this, but saving children, right? That was great, but saving you guys is better.
Myron didn't have any tears. This was a performance. And I think that Just Pearly Things really connects with this performance, because the reason why Myron's face remained dry during this whole act was because he was trying to mimic the quote unquote white woman tears technique, and he was unable to successfully pull it off. So, Pearl probably felt that. She probably identified with it. She probably seen that. You know what I'm saying? He was trying to win an Oscar. He should actually do like Oscar and put himself in a trash can. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah, man, this is tough, bro.
This might be one of the last times you guys hear this intro. No, I'm just kidding. You guys can hear this intro as often as you want if you go to Rumble.
And it's really interesting to see the responses of content creators that when Fresh and Fit get kicked off.
Yeah, shout out to We Lit, man. Did y'all hear this? Just Pearly Things took the Embrace Villainy beat. You guys know. You guys know the Embrace Villainy beat. And she made a freestyle over it. I had no idea. It was so corny. You guys notice that I haven't been using the Embrace Villainy beat? for the intro anymore? If you guys noticed that, give me a thumbs up. If y'all didn't notice that, then give me a thumbs down. There was an Instagram reel, and she actually freestyled over my damn intro beat. And it just feels tainted anymore. When We Lit posted that, I didn't know that it was real. I'm sure Torian with her as with her overly subscribed YouTube channel, I'm sure that she got the that she paid for a lease to use that beat. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a leased beat. You know what I'm saying? I leased that beat from ironically a producer named Darkside. But here she come using it. You know what I'm saying? Now, that is not a commonly used beat. That's not one of the, there's a lot of beats on YouTube that you hear a lot like reoccurring, and you know, you hear people use them. Not that one. That's a unique beat that you don't hear every day. Nah, I leased the beat, Brianna. It's not technically mine. I leased it. You know what I'm saying? So somebody else is able to lease it too. But it's just interesting though, because it's nobody else is using it. You know what I mean? It's not a common beat. And the reason why it's not a common beat is because it's kind of a unique beat. It's not a flavor for everybody. It definitely ain't a flavor for just Pearly Things. But she decided to attempt to freestyle over it. Just like her food coming out of the oven, it probably came out terrible. You know what I'm saying?
Because on one hand, they will tell men to be emotionally available. A lot of these content creators say it's okay to show your emotions. It's okay to be emotionally available. Yet when a man does show his emotion, they make fun of him for it.
How many of you guys think that Myron was showing legitimate emotion? Do you think that Myron was actually that hurt? Shout out to my man, Keep It 100. What's good with it, bro? Do you think that Myron was actually that hurt? Those are some fake tears. And honestly, like, listen, man, this may be offensive to the ladies, so I apologize in advance. I don't trust women telling me when and how to show my emotions, because women look at that and will call you soft. They'll be the first ones to call you soft. They'll be the first ones to call you feminine. They'll be the first ones to call you weak. They'll call you that before a man does. So as far as a woman telling me it's okay to cry, I'm sorry, ladies. Nah. That's gonna go in one ear and out the other for me. So I can be a judge of when I need to do what, how I need to do it. Women encouraging men to be emotional. I'm sorry, man. That's no. No. You know what I'm saying? I'm emotional on my own terms. Oh, it's okay. Put your head on my shoulder. Girl, bye. Fuck out of here. I can put my head on your shoulder. So then you can go around and tell all your friends that I was crying and shit, and I everything would have fallen apart if it wasn't for you. Get the fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying?
And this is what they preach. And the next thing that's interesting is a lot of, and I'd like to say a lot of content creators came out. So as you guys know, Fresh and Fit about 2-3 years ago had an instance where a girl was saying that you had to sleep with them to get on the show. Okay,
you know what, and again, I don't want to I don't want to turn this into a woman. I don't want to turn this into a woman bashing or a woman critiquing stream or anything like that. For one, I don't want to offend my female subscribers. But for two, I don't want the content police to come in and want to hit my StreamYard link. Stay in the Big Ten. Don't go out of conference. You know what I'm saying? But see, shout out to Alonda. Thank you. We women tell men to be emotional as a litmus test. That is a fact. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And shout out to the women that come to the chat for the honesty. You know what I'm saying? Because that's true. There's always these tests. You know what I'm saying? And men test women too. Men test what women will put up with. And women test the strength of men. This is a fact. We do this shit. It's taking somebody out on a date is not courting. That's taking somebody out on a damn date. This kind of shit is courting. When you court somebody, you run these little simulation games to see how durable they are for real life situations. And that's women seeing how durable and how psychologically strong and sound a man is. That's what happens. You know what I'm saying? That's what people do. It's vetting. You know what I mean? Real quick, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you guys show some love for Alonda for becoming a member of the channel. Make sure you guys throw some radiation emoji in the chat and show her some love. The membership is only 99 cents. It definitely helps the channel, helps me be able to put out more and better quality content. So consider it. Next time you see the bot, put that link in the chat. 99 cents goes a long way. Help your boy out. All right. And the thing is like, it's okay to be honest about that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? But I don't think that Fresh and Fit were being emotional, for one. I think that was an act. And for two, once a man has revealed his emotions to a woman, depending on what kind of woman that she is, she'll go around all of her friends, or she'll go in front of all of his friends and not talk about anything else except for how open and emotional he is. And, oh, he has a soft side and all of this stuff. Basically, a soft form of emasculating you to kind of subliminally give you the hint that, nah, you failed the test. You know what I mean? So, that's just something to be aware of. You know what I'm saying? Just something in my observation that I've seen. Now, am I saying that all women do that? No. Am I saying that every single woman does that? No. But these are things that have happened. They're things that people can do, and they're things that are common. So just be aware of them. Notice that kind of situation. Does somebody have exploitive behavior where they like to tell a lot of your information when they get around a bunch of people? If they had that kind of tendency, well, they're probably going to tell intimate secrets about you. Intimacy don't always necessarily equate to sex. Intimacy equates to something that's important and private. If you confide in your woman privately, and she then goes around and advertises how good of a man you are because you're so soft and because you're so emotionally available, that's a little bit of bullying. You're not really supposed to do that. You know what I'm saying? You're not really supposed to do that. And likewise with men. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, if your wife knows how to if your wife knows how to do some things real well, you know what I'm saying? When you get around your homeboys, you know what I'm saying? Yo, man. Oh man, bruh. Sorry I'm late. You know what I'm saying? I slept in late because the wife gave me like some crazy sloppy last night. Like, come on, man. That's you don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that to your woman. You know what I mean? Don't do that shit to her. Just like women. Don't go in front of other women or don't go in front of men and be like, I love my man so much. Oh, he shedded Niagara Falls amount of tears on my shoulder yesterday. Don't do that shit. Shout out to Alonzo. What's good with Alonzo? Yeah, and I got to agree with all things Netta Jean. The red pill grift is getting stale. Honestly, there's some things about the red pill that are accurate, but there's other things about the red pill that are not. And a lot of it has to do with the personality of the content creator, if you ask me, and the message delivery and the accuracy of the message delivery. You know what I'm saying? Not all red pill content creators, but a lot of red pill content creators don't deliver the message in a way where it would be beneficial. The knowledge that the beneficial knowledge, you know what I'm saying? They deliver it in a way specifically geared to create a financial base of support. If they actually cared about improving things, lawmaking, advocacy, the format would be very different than what you see going on a Fresh and Fit. And Fresh and Fit shouldn't be a representative of the totality of the red pill, if you ask me. You know what I'm saying? It's just that they got the most eyes on them. And because they do a lot of antics, unfortunately, a lot of those antics get associated with the whole thing. You know what I'm saying? But there's a new grift in town. Did you know that? There's a new grift in town. And the new grift is all of these people that used to be associated with the red pill, all of these people that used to be associated with the quote unquote manosphere. Now they're on a quote unquote attack black males grift. And they're trying to distance themselves from what they were a part of. Now, like I've said, I don't think that all the manosphere content creators are bad. There's good content creators within the manosphere. Just like there's a lot of stuff that you can actually take from the red pill. But you can tell who actually stands on shit by the people who are still trying to push that message and say Fresh and Fit are not the totality of this. There's other things that go on as well. It's just that there's not a lot of eyes on them. Then there's the people that run and try to escape. They're running away and they want to rebrand themselves. And the people that's rebranding themselves, those are the grifters. When that shit was paying real good, oh, they was representing. But now that, you know, the pressure is on, the test of durability has come, those people folded like they always fold. And now what they've done is turned a part of a male movement into a we're going to attack black men movement. And what ends up happening a lot of times with that kind of stuff is those kind of dudes come around actual content creators and end up getting shown what time it is the hard way. And that's what happened with Fresh and Fit when they came around Abba and Preach. So any of those content police, any of those content rebranders, before you think about stepping out of conference, run the tapes on what happened to Fresh and Fit with Abba and Preach. Run them tapes. But that's the new grift, though. And then after that gets old, and after that gets tired, and people start running videos and people start showing where people are stealing these talking points and stuff like that from, it'll go back to what it was before. It'll go back to what it was before, because to keep it a buck, man, when it comes to YouTube, when it comes to content creation, YouTube is actually a talent desert. Would you guys agree? There's not really a lot of legitimate, unique, actual content creators on YouTube. There's a bunch of people on YouTube that no one ever listened to in their life, because they're not talking about shit, for one, and for two, probably because they can barely get out a sentence, and nobody ever wanted to listen to them. But now they can, go buy a StreamYards account. YouTube algorithm does the trick, tell them what kind of content to make, and they actually think that people are listening to them. But they're not listening to them, though. What they're listening to is repeated talking points. Most of these people don't have any original ideas whatsoever. None. They're too stupid to come up with original ideas. They're too limited to talk about anything other than common day talk. They can't talk about bricks. They can't talk about X-ray crystallography. They can't talk about thermodynamics. They can't talk about anything. The only thing that they can do is find the most recent article in TMZ and try to get you to assume that celebrity life is equivalent to everyday life. And it's not. But if that's what the YouTube algorithm is pushing, somebody will listen, somebody will subscribe. But what people got to understand is that you're not listening to that person's original thought. So that person may as well not even be saying it. What you're listening to is repeated talking points, and you just happen to like the way this particular person says it. Original ideas, most people can't handle original ideas, because most people fear what they don't understand. Regardless if you're a man or a woman, most people have a resistance to new information, to new ideas. And that's because most people have been conditioned that way, and because people don't have the tenacity, don't have the ability, and don't have the perseverance to untrain themselves from being stuck in a routine. Would you guys agree? If you guys agree with that, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down. That's the situation. That's what we're currently dealing with.
It happened like 2-3 years ago. And the issue was Abba and Preach did about like 20 videos on Fresh and Fit, basically alluding to Myron being predatory in some way. And what happened was,
we watched about every single video that Abba and Preach did about Fresh and Fit. I don't know where she got the allegory of predatory from, unless they're talking about predatory, like taking advantage of their subscribers. but I didn't hear any accusations of predatory behavior. Did you guys? And I gotta agree with Troll Thumper. Cognitive dissonance is an MF. Facts. Super facts.
They left out a really important part of the conversation with that chick, where it showed he was trying to hook up with her and let her come on the show. Look, that's like a personal thing. But the truth of the matter is they just believed the chick and covered her messages and took out all of the context that would show that Myron was innocent, that he wasn't doing what they said they.
The only problem with that is that there was mad people that did videos about that. With all of the text messages. That's the only problem with that little theory. But again, this is just Pearly Things making up pseudo history. I mean, it's just wild how some people can sit there and lie with a straight face. You know what's crazy? What Pearl needs to do, all right? I don't think that, you know why Pearl's wife school channel failed? Because Pearl does not have wife qualities. She doesn't have wife qualities. Pearl's wife school failed because she does not have the qualifications or the capability to teach anyone how to be a wife. If Pearl made a channel about how to be a modern woman, that channel would blow up more than the channel that she made this video on. Pearl would be an excellent teacher at teaching women how to be the most scandalous modern women that they could possibly be. And if you ask me, that's the lane that she needs to get in. She's Me Too'd people. She's trying to lead in a male space. She's a career-driven woman that has no truth. She literally, if they could find a poster the size of a damn bulletin board vertical that would actually be size appropriate for her big ass, she would be the poster girl for modern women. And since she does it so good naturally, that's what she should make her channel about. Would you guys agree? Teach women how to be modern women, Pearl. You could wear all the polka dot dresses in the world. You could go to Pleasantville, United States, and steal all the curtains off the wall and put them on as a dress and sit there looking like an extra off of the 70s show, and all of that would still not make you capable of teaching someone how to be a wife. Because people, women in particular, learn how to be wives from watching the relationship between their mother and their father. And you don't have no respect for your family, as spoiled as your ass is. You know what I'm saying? One of the first people that you exploited was your own damn family. So you definitely ain't got no respect.
They were doing. And so, you know, in response to this, Fresh and Fit at the time, copyright struck a bunch of them. Like they copyright struck a bunch of people. And people are trying to say it's the same thing, them copywriting, because they were essentially getting Me Too'd. And it's really unfortunate because the content creator.
Hey, let me ask you guys a question. Why does Piers Morgan bring this woman on his show as a guest so much? What are you guys' thoughts on that? Fresh and Fit got Me Too'd. You know what's crazy about that? The people that actually Me Too'd Fresh and Fit, which was H3 Podcast, who had somebody on there who made accusations about Fresh and Fit, they didn't put a copyright strike on them. H3 Podcast actually had a guest on there that tried to Me Too Fresh and Fit, and they didn't put a copyright strike on H3 Podcast. So what is she talking about? Yeah, Pierce is an absolute weirdo.
Creator, you can't really do anything about it. And, you know, Myron was lucky because of what he does at the time. He couldn't get fired, but anyone in an average job would just get fired based on this unfair reporting at the time. So essentially, a lot of people are celebrating and they view it as payback because they copyright struck, you know.
I haven't seen one celebration. I don't think anybody cares that much. People are making content about it because they followed the story. People are making content about it because it's a popular story. People are making content about it for the same reason that you make your content, Pearl. Because it's a popular topic that's trending on YouTube. And some people may have more insight to offer than others because they've been following the situation for years, since it's been going on for years now. And I got to agree with Hurricane IQ. That's a great point. Hurricane IQ says she says stuff that Pierce wants to say, but won't, even though he supposedly stands up to cancel culture. If you guys agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down. Yeah, everyone is actually constructively breaking down the Fresh and Fit situation. I agree. You know, like there's literally no, like, I didn't get on here with my champagne bottle and pop the top, you know what I'm saying, with some dark glasses on, with the party lights on in my studio, sitting up here like, yeah, we popping bottles tonight, Fresh and Fit gone, you know what I'm saying? Like, ain't nobody doing that. Dollars being thrown up in the air with the air blower so it looked like the dollars making a tornado back here. No one's doing that. I mean, it's not something that I'm invested in enough to care about one way or another. You know what I care about in this situation? I care about the popularity of this content, the fact that I've been covering it for a while, and the fact that anytime Fresh and Fit do something stupid, it's a good way to spurt some channel growth. I've said I say that all the time. Ain't nobody celebrating it though, because I don't care one way or another enough to celebrate. But one thing that I do think that people can learn from this situation is pay very close attention to how delusional people can be and how much of liars they are. Because this is the kind of stuff that you see when it comes to politics, people whitewashing history. I mean, Fresh and Fit never did anything wrong. He never did anything wrong ever. Every YouTuber swears. Every YouTuber says something controversial. Every culture had slaves. See how that works? See how it's the same thing? See how it's a similar tactic? So we try to assign degeneracy to everybody to dilute the effect of the idiocy that we've been involved in. The idiocy that we don't want to atone for. YouTube must have got red pilled from somewhere because they're holding Fresh and Fit accountable. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's what they preach.
Myron copyright struck a bunch of people years ago. Then the other interesting thing was that Abba and Preach copyright struck me. And then when we were going to take it to court, they ended up dropping it.
Yeah, probably to send you a message because you copyright strike a bunch of people tell. You get in your big feelings. I would say you get in your little feelings, but there's literally nothing little about Pearly Things except for her brain. You get in your feelings and copyright strike people. You know what I'm saying? So they probably said, yeah, you know, we're going to slap a copyright strike on you. Why not? If they really wanted it to go through with 2 million subscribers, I'm sure that's a legal battle that they could have taken. But I think they just did it just to troll. I don't know. I've done reaction videos to Abba and Preach where I didn't agree with anything that they said. You know what I'm saying? They never copyright struck me. And Abba and Preach never said never to copyright strike somebody. What Abba and Preach said was Fresh and Fit put out false DCMA strikes. False copyright strikes. Not legitimate ones. They never said not to report people for copyright abuse. They pointed out the fact that Fresh and Fit were abusing the copyright reporting system. That's what they said. This is one of the now, do you guys notice how Just Pearly Things does not do well in face-to-face confrontations? You guys remember that interview that she did with Hotep Jesus? If you guys remember that interview that she did with Hotep Jesus, give me a thumbs up. If you guys don't remember that, give me a thumbs down. You guys can check that out on my other channel. Just Pearly Things doesn't do well in face-to-face confrontations or face-to-face debates. And the reason why is because she operates outside of reality. And when you operate outside of reality, if the gaslighting isn't strong enough, or if the person that you're debating isn't dumb enough, you're not going to be able to back them into a corner with nonsense. You're not. And they're going to force you to answer questions. And Just Pearly Things, she gets real turned up. She turns into a real, actual, for real modern woman. She gets modern woman turned up when she's held accountable and forced to answer questions. She doesn't like that. She gets all snotty, bratty. She won't answer the questions. She gets the little shit-eating smile on her face. She don't like that shit at all. She like old boy on belly. I don't like that shit. I don't like that shit at all. Then she be sitting over there like the other dude on belly. Sitting over there on the couch. Saudi. Swinging in the air like Cuba Gooding Jr. You know what I'm saying? She don't like answering questions. It is what it is. You're going to have to answer questions. If this is what you're doing, at some point, you're going to have to answer questions. And everybody's not going to coddle you. And the thing is that Just Pearly Things, the way that she tries to carry herself, the way that she tries to act, she sit there talking about how, you know, people should be playing hardball. All right. Well, facts. John says F&F always talk about women needing to be held accountable, but when it's their turn to be held accountable, they call foul. They don't understand. Facts. You know, Fresh and Fit always try to talk about Black Americans being held accountable too. They say it in a roundabout way. But now they sitting there getting held accountable. And they don't like it. They crying. Myron can't even stay on the camera.
But it's just really interesting, the double standards in the space, where whenever men are doing something unapologetically masculine, they're canceled, they have articles written about them, they're Me Too'd.
What did they? All right, help me, guys. What did they do that was unapologetically masculine? Did I miss something? Where's the unapologetic? Where's the unapologetic masculinity? Where? Where's the unapologetic masculinity? What happened there?
Where when the left does essentially the same thing, you know, how many stories have come out of Destiny sleeping with someone that he collabed with, but nobody Me Too's him. But it's just interesting how we see.
I don't know. Maybe that was because there was 2 consenting parties, possibly. Now, as far as this whole left-right thing goes, what about Jonathan Majors? I never heard Just Pearly Things mention anything about Jonathan Majors. We all know why that is. What about Bill Cosby? What about the constant bringing up of Michael Jackson? We know why Just Pearly didn't mention any of that. When these people like Just Pearly Things say, quote unquote, the left, that's a dog whistle for black people. The reason why they say the left is so they can attempt to try to make you look like a hypocrite, because they try to guilt anybody that brings up racial issues as, well, why are you bringing race into it? Because it's a race-related issue. That's why. The hell? That's like talking about diabetes and then asking somebody, why are you bringing blood sugar into it? Are you serious? Are you dumb? But they utilize the political parties and associate groups of people with political parties in order to attempt to try to falsely be on the right side of history, which, unless they pay some reparations, they never will be.
These like double standards in the space where when a guy does something that's masculine, you know, there's a target on his back. You know, people are trying to take them down. And I just think
now, Just Pearly Things, she tried to Me Too somebody, and it was a black man that she tried to Me Too. So if you ask me, one of the reasons why Just Pearly Things didn't cover the Jonathan Majors topic is because Just Pearly Things believes that women like her should be able to Me Too black men at will. Because she did. Why she didn't cover any Bill Cosby story? Because she believes those women. Why do you think she tries to downplay the anti-black racism and all that in the United States? Because most of that shit started with a Karen. Most of the race riots in the United States was started because of some Karen, just like Just Pearly Things, saying some uninterested black man was looking at her in an elevator or whistled at her. Nobody fucking whistle at your ass. And if they did whistle at you, it's because they mistook you for a dog. Somebody said, here, boy. Oh my God. This 9-year-old kid whistled at me. Believe all women was around way back then. But it's believe all women is not believe all women. It's believe all white women. And Just Pearly Things knows that. And she's cool with that. And the fact that she didn't say it, she didn't say that specifically. What she talks about in her content is evidence that that's true. Let me ask you guys a question. How many stories of black men being Me Too did Just Pearly Things cover? And now here go my question, right? This quote unquote space that she talking about, the space that she claims to that is a male space, yet somehow she's in it. How come them dudes ain't criticizing her for not talking about that shit? Instead of criticizing her for not talking about that, those very same dudes were sitting up here supporting her while she was under scrutiny for downplaying Black American history. What about her contributions to Black American history? Like Me Tooing Black men. Because we all know that most race massacres started as a result of that. But again, the company that she kept never addressed that. The company that she kept attempted to gaslight the people who were critiquing her. Nobody is outside of critique. I can be critiqued. There's plenty of things about me that can be critiqued. I am nowhere near perfect. Like I said, I'm a bad boy. You know what I'm saying? But I never said that I was outside of critique. And I try to be consistent in my assessment of things. Just Pearly Things doesn't have that kind of integrity. Most of these content creators don't have that kind of integrity.
Most ironic part of it is the guys saying to be emotionally available are the ones making fun of them for basically losing something they put 2-3 years into, their life's work. And guys, I don't think you...
Just so y'all know, she got notes. She got cue cards. Somebody them typed her up a script that she's reading. Y'all see those notes that she got? She got cliff notes for her live stream, or cliff notes for her video. You know what I'm saying?
You really understand how much, like, as YouTube content creators, like, our livelihood goes into this stuff. Like, we literally put, like, a...
You know what I'm about to do? I'm gonna start doing streams where I have my camera on again. And I'm gonna have a whole stack of papers that I'm just waving around to make it look like I got some facts and to make it look like I'm important. And as a matter of fact, next time we do Just Talking with TD and Rob, I'm gonna have a whole stack of papers and I'm gonna have a pen and act like I'm writing stuff down and all that. What y'all think?
Piece of our soul into this. Like, I genuinely believe content is art. And, you know, getting demonetized is devastating really to any content creator. So I think you guys should go support Fresh and Fit and sign up to their Rumble if you can. It's like $5 a month. Just type in Fresh and Fit.
Man, are you getting a referral bonus? Are you doing affiliate marketing? Are you doing affiliate marketing? Let me ask y'all this question. Shout out to Vega. Vega, you about to go over there and buy a Rumble membership for Fresh and Fit? Don't lie, Vega. Don't lie. You know what I'm saying? We all know that out of everybody in the chat, Vega is one of Fresh and Fit's biggest fans. No, I'm just playing. I'm just playing. I'm just playing. You know what I'm saying? Who about to go over there and get one of them Rumble memberships, though? Shout out, yo, listen to this, man. I'm not mad at it. This is what I'm talking about utilizing the value chain. Now, I'm curious, is Just Pearly Things getting paid? Is she going to get a little cut? What's going on here? Not that there's anything wrong with it, right? There's nothing wrong with that. Hey, do your thing. Do your networking. Do your marketing. Shout out to Cal. Cal said that Just Pearly Things trying to be Candace Owens. I think that Just Pearly Things trying to be Sean Bradley. I don't think she's trying to be Candace Owens. Okay, I'll meet you halfway, Kai. She trying to be Sean Bradley with Candace Owens talking points. What'd you think? Listen, hey, Just Pearly Things is a businesswoman. Shout out to my man Terrence. Terrence says she's doing this in case their channel disappears. She'll have them come visit her. Exactly. Pearl is a predatory businesswoman. I'm not mad at her. She's trying to get the money. And she's making these kind of relationships. She's doing the things that she's doing as a future investment. Pearl is a vicious businesswoman. You know what I'm saying? She is a vicious businesswoman. And that's why shit like this is why I feel she should make the channel called How to Be a Boss Bitch. Because Pearl is indeed a boss bitch. She don't have, that's why her wife's channel failed. It is what it is.
On Rumble, and the links in any of we'll put the link in the description. But yeah, guys, we need to support other red pill.
Hey, Vegas said she embodies the B word. Which one? Big as hell? Wait, which one? Bonehead? Which B word? Which B word she is?
Content creators, men's content, because men do deserve to have a space where they can talk freely without women policing them and telling them how to speak. And men,
listen, man, I don't know, but I got some breaking information. Maxwell said JPT is vicious on my eyes. Listen, I heard this through the grapevine. This is only an allegation. I can't I can't tell you whether it's true or false. I heard that she got sunburned by a 75-watt light bulb. Now, I'm not sure if that's true or not, but that's just what I heard. You know what I'm saying? That's what I heard.
Do deserve to have content that represents them and their thoughts and their opinions without being Me Too'd, without having a million hit pieces, and without being canceled on everything. What's happening to Fresh and Fit, what happened to Andrew Tate, what happened to Sneeko, it's all wrong. And who knows? I have no.
So Sneeko is saying that he was going to grape Chad. You know, that's just okay, and he should be allowed to do that because, you know, that's masculinity, right? Really? Yo, ladies and gentlemen, we got the second stream sponsor. Shout out to the second stream sponsor. Make sure you guys throw some radiation emoji in the chat. Show some love for One Thou with the $20 super chat. My man says, you killing it, BLR. I meant to drop this a while ago. They should have done their emergency and clan hoodies and Ape Voice. Facts. They combined 50-point IQ, couldn't figure out why they got demonetized. Pasty Things Grift is next. B1, bro. Facts and super facts. If you guys agree with One Thou, give me a thumbs up. If y'all disagree, give me a thumbs down. I agree 100% with that. Shout out to my man Grind and Motivate. Maybe Grind and Motivate get some of those clan hoodies and for one of his skits and send them over to Myron and Fresh and say, hey, can you redo your emergency stream, but can you do it, and instead of using the lighting in your studio, put up a couple burning crosses, you know what I'm saying, and put the clan hoodie on, and, you know, actually say it with your chest. Say it with your chest that looks like a silverback gorilla. You know what I'm saying? I doubt they're gonna do that though. I doubt they're gonna do that. They ain't got it like that.
No idea if I'll be next. You know, females do get a privilege online, but it's really unfortunate to just see them take down.
It's really unfortunate that we sat here and listened to you for 2 hours. That is the unfortunate thing. So now we're at the main event. All right. If you guys haven't smashed that like button, make sure you guys smash that like button. Now, I've Been Preach did what they usually do. And shout out to I've Been Preach, right? It said, hey, what's good with it, Ashkiro? What's going on with you? I've Been Preach did what they usually do. They got whoever their editor is, they have a really good editor for their videos. You know what I'm saying? So they put together basically an archive of all of the receipts, right, over years of this ongoing feud between them and Fresh and Fit. And if I'm not mistaken, in this video, they use examples of things that happened between them and Fresh and Fit to provide more supporting evidence to why it is possibly that their channel got demonetized. Could you guys imagine having a channel with 1 million subscribers and no monetization on it? Could you imagine that? I would listen. I got a tiny YouTube channel. I would flip out if I lost the monetization on my tiny YouTube channel. Imagine having 1 million subs, 1 million subs, and your shit just gone just like that. Oh my God. You gotta feel dumb as hell. You gotta feel dumb as hell. You know they went and found the oldest, most solid brick wall that they could find and banged. That's how Fresh Prince CEO got that dent in his forehead. Just bang their head against that damn wall until they got tired or until they got dizzy and fell out. You know what I'm saying? That's sacrilege, man. What the heck, man? What? They got videos that's still getting views from a long time ago, man. Plus every piece of new content that they put out still getting views. They just gave it all away. They just gave it all away. Who does it? Who does that? It's crazy, man. That shit don't make no damn sense. You know what I'm saying? Let's check out what I've been preset. So this is the most recent video, and I got a feeling this is probably gonna be the last video that I've been preach do on this. We'll see. It may resurface again in a year or something like that. But I think for now, this is the end, you know what I'm saying, of this saga for some time being. But we'll see. We'll see. Shout out to one that said only the Riverboat brawl made me happier, my G. That's hilarious. Yo, do you guys know they age restricted my live stream and my videos on the Riverboat brawl? Shout out to Eon. What's good with it, bro? They age restricted my videos on the Riverboat, man. It is. Well, it's all good though. It's all right. It's all right. It's okay. It's all right.
I think creators are some of the dumbest people on the planet. You want to jeopardize your whole fucking degree. You want to jeopardize your career, everything you've built. Why? So you can be on TikTok for free. We are better than you, period. Today's topic. Next year, this time.
Hey, do y'all remember this? Do y'all remember this? Look at them eyebrows. Look at them eyebrows. Look at that. Look at that. How many of y'all eyebrows is arched perfect like that? I got them Ernie and Bert eyebrows. You know what I'm saying? Mine's just like 2 straight lines over my head. Oh man. Here go my question. Is Fresh and Fit better than them now?
Better than you, period. Today's topic. Yeah, too. Next year, this time we're gonna lap you motherfuckers.
Few moments later.
The channel has been kicked off the YouTube partner program. Saving children, right?
Hey, do y'all see at the bottom? Man, I've been preaching petty, man. That hair transplant or toupee is crazy. It didn't I tell y'all? He got that spray on hair, man. That's wild. The Ren and Stimpy is wait, that's not Ren and Stimpy. That's SpongeBob, ain't it? Was that Ren and Stimpy or was that SpongeBob? That's Omega level petty.
Better than you, period. Today's topic. Yeah, too. Next year, this time we're gonna lap you motherfuckers.
Few moments later.
The channel has been kicked off the YouTube partner program. Saving children, right? That was great, but saving you guys is better.
Yeah, while we're still celebrating Fresh and Fit getting fucked over.
Are we celebrating?
Low key. I'm celebrating. I'm just doing a little 2-step in my room.
Oh man. Damn. How many of y'all two-stepping the Fresh and Fit getting kicked off the monetization program?
Yeah. I drew a little Fresh and Fit sticker on the floor and I'd be dancing on it. Just like this. Oh, look at us, some high-value men losing their shit. Here's why. One, I don't feel bad for Fresh and Fit.
No.
And two, why I think they deserve even worse.
Sure.
Absolutely. Everyone's like, oh, how dare you guys celebrate somebody being deplatformed, this and that. No, I celebrate people having consequences for their actions. That's what I celebrate. And I'm certainly not going to feel bad for somebody who tried to get a bunch of channels removed from the platform with their own copyright strikes.
If someone tries,
Did we all have short-term memory? Or
Right. So again, I want you guys to remember what Pearl just said in her video, right? Remember what Pearl just said in her video. Now, pay attention for all the contradictions that are about to come, okay? Because they're going to debunk everything that Pearl just said. Pearl's like, girl, bye. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Ash Kiro, 71 watching. Run those likes up. Make sure you guys smash the like button, hit the bell, share the stream to your social media. Also, make sure if you're not subscribed to my other channels, you take a moment, follow all my other channels. Definitely going live on Crimecast today, especially if they walking Trump into jail. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about Giuliani's mugshot. Or I should say his thug shot. You know what I'm saying? We're going to talk about all that. We're going to talk about some other crimes that the mainstream media didn't talk about too. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to Mike Mellis John. What's good with it, bro? B1.
these guys knowingly hired a lawyer to put out all of these strikes on a bunch of different platforms, knowing they were false. Knowing they were false. They didn't care. They wanted these channels deleted.
Yep.
Right? And what did they say at the time?
Everybody that was talking.
What did they say at the time?
What did they say about the time?
They said actions have consequences. You want to talk shit, get hit.
The haters tried to kill us. Over 30 plus YouTube channels made videos like slandering our name, whatever it is. Now they're mad that there's consequences to actions, bro. Y'all are not going to be able to run around and drag our name in the mud with, falsely without some kind of recourse, bro. Like, that's just not the way the world works. What we're going to do is we're going to go behind the scenes, get the legal people to do it for us, and then they're going to hit you guys where it really hurts your pockets, okay? You make a hit piece on us, we're going to hit you back, but legally.
Can you ask why these clowns tried to take down Abba and Preach with fake DMCA strikes?
What?
Basically, we have a lot of people that talk about us on the internet, and some of it is slander, some of it is defamation, and using our content in their videos. And we're like, okay, cool. We've waited out for a while for you to stop. You're still doing it. So, you know what? Cool. Now we're going to take legal action against you because obviously you're attacking our character and our integrity. So at that point, hey, it's all fair game.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
Those are their words. Right? They never apologized for any of that stuff. They never took it. Now they want to cry about free speech.
there is a matrix, man. Like, I mean, we talked about this with Andrew at length. Like, people don't want you guys to get this message.
I think
there is no spoon. I'm gonna probably talk about that on my international news channel, All Things Netta Gene. Because there's a whole lot going on around that way. Yeah, Fresh do got a clean forehead. You guys think Fresh looks like Worf? Let's go back.
Those are their words. Right? They never apologized for any of that stuff. They never took it. Now they want to cry about free speech.
There is a matrix, man. Like, I mean, we talked about this with Andrew.
There's no matrix that's out to get you. You're getting yourself. Like I said, the Matrix got Edward Snowden. The Matrix got Julian Assange. Ain't no Matrix coming for you, bro. Ain't no Matrix coming for y'all. Y'all aren't doing anything that a Matrix would come for. If you get a speeding ticket, it's not the Matrix. It's called you sped. That's what it's called. What are you doing that's attacking the integrity of the matrix, that's veiling the world and the hidden reality? What are you doing that's doing that? Let me tell you something. I'm going to tell you guys something. The Matrix may possibly have came for Dr. Sebi. Right? The Matrix came for Malcolm X. The Matrix came for Martin Luther King. The Matrix ain't coming for Myron Gaines. You're not a factor, my man. You are a content creator that is doing nothing to fundamentally change the world or to fundamentally change the world order. There's literally no reason for a Matrix to come and get you. As a matter of fact, you actually are plugged into and have bought into and utilize rewards and benefits bestowed by the very Matrix that you sit there and talk about. Because if you actually know anything about the Matrix, the original people that wrote the Matrix, what is the Matrix? It's a system. It's a system that imprisons, quote unquote, the children of Zion. Directly quoted from the movie. Now, that sounds a lot like what people have going on here, doesn't it? You just ain't one of those people. Just something to think about.
Like people don't want you guys to get this message.
I think at some point there was free speech.
They go Worf, Cleon. It's not a free speech issue. It's a rule breaking and rule following issue. Dummy.
Where it was like, okay, you know what?
Yeah.
Say what you got to say. We won't crucify you. But nowadays, free speech is kind of like, is it even a thing?
Excuse me? I didn't get their channel taken down. I'm just watching as karma comes back to bite you in the ass. That was your actions that you never took accountability for, and all of a sudden now you want to be some pariah for free speech. Listen, your whole channel could go up in flames, your building could go down. I don't give a fuck what happens to you. That's kind of like those ladies who go around like, hit me, and you get smacked in the face. I don't care. Go ahead.
If fuck around and found out was two morons, it'd be them.
That's it.
It's really that. It's funny. It's just funny how the people that have been crying about accountability the most when it hits you back. Man, they're saving the world. Yeah, they're saving probably some of y'all and they help some of y'all, but they're also doing some bad.
They want to say it's about saving men, right?
Yeah,
that their platform's about saving. What is having that little coke head of yours come on just to ramble about flat earth and other dumb?
Hey, do you know what? You may hey, throw some radiation emoji in the chat for Eon. Yo, that's facts. Actually, before there wasn't free speech because they were getting paid to post content. Now that they done demonetized y'all asses, y'all are really doing free speech. Hey, Fresh and Fit doing free speech for real now. Eon said they can still spread the message. They just don't get paid. Speech is still free. It's actually, it's for real free. So y'all are for real free speech advocates now.
Should have to do with saving men. What is Nick Fuentes coming on talking about Jews saying the N-word a bunch of times and, you know, chopping it up with a white supremacist have to do with saving men?
Everybody's always talking about like education and stuff, and they say, well, the reason that the blacks, Hispanics aren't performing so well is because the schools aren't funded, the schools aren't good.
There's not one reason, I don't think.
I think there is. And the reason is that when you look at IQ tests, blacks score one full standard deviation lower than whites. IQ's an 8.
Do you think that it is like, are you talking about like a nature versus nurture argument here?
Yeah, I'm saying it's genetic.
So you believe that black
So like the thing that's interesting is that when they say that they have people on here that differ in opinions, they have people that are totally unequipped. Nick Fuentes, a staunch white supremacist. somebody who literally believes the bell curve like it's his Bible, to debate IQ and race with just some random women who were recruited for the show. That's Fresh and Fit's idea of we bring people on that we don't agree with. And I gotta agree with Hurricane. They agreed and championed those opinions. Now we could definitely talk about race and IQ, and I guarantee you that conversation would not go very well for Nick Fuentes or Fresh and Fit or anybody. But we could definitely talk about it. We've talked about it before.
Or inherently dumber.
I'm saying on average.
You should have stayed in your lane. And because you didn't stay in your lane and you wanted to walk together with people who are on no-fly lists and banned from every other planet, okay?
See, that's the title. That's what I said. Just Pearly Things and Fresh and Fit are proof that YouTube delusions don't apply in the real world. Step outside your conference and get smoked. You guys agree? If you guys agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down. This right here is a perfect example of what I'm always talking about be careful what kind of YouTube talking points that you use when you go outside of YouTube, because these YouTube talking points, they may sound good in the echo chamber that you may reside in, but when you walk outside, they get you waxed. Real quick, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you guys show some love to One Thou. Shout out to One Thou, the third stream sponsor. He is the second and third stream sponsor, so shout out to him. He says, how long do you think before these clowns become completely irrelevant? Emerald Fondle, more like Elmer Fudd. That's all, folks. Can't go back to the feds. Feds can't make cash on YouTube. Free speech equals anti-black racism. That's a fact. That's a fact. Notice how when it comes to free speech, it's always free speech. When these people are talking about free speech and using the N-word go hand in hand. Ask Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan doesn't want to talk about anything else. He just wants to be able to say the N-word freely. Why is it that the N-word is always equated to free speech when it comes to these people? They don't want to talk about anything else. Sometimes they bring up the Sombreritos. But why do they hold the N-word so near and dear to their hearts? To their little congenitally malformed hearts. Why? Make it make sense.
You ended up taking a big L. Associate whoever you want, but don't be mad if other people don't want to associate with you afterwards, i.e. YouTube doesn't want anything to do with you. They banned that guy for a reason, and you want to bring him on and cozy him up, having saying the N-word to a bunch of black women? That's your choice. You're free to do whatever you want. Free speech. Don't mean that people got to associate with you. Don't mean that people got to pay you to do that dumb shit. What brand, okay? Forget brand. You got a job, okay? You work at an office. Do you honestly think you can keep your job if after hours you got videos of you publicly, proudly walking around doing the salute, right, with known white supremacists, and then you want to come into work, Pikachu face, you're fired, and you want me to feel bad? Come on, cuz. I could understand that some off-work behavior shouldn't affect your job, okay? I could understand to a degree. Doing the salute with white talking about how black people are inferior, dumb IQ, whatever it is.
Hey, I just seen what Terrence, shout out to Terrence. I just seen what Terrence put in the Discord. Hold on real quick. Hold on real quick, man. This is the hold on. This is an emergency situation. We got to discuss this real quick, man. This is insanity. We got to take a commercial break here because we got an emergency situation going on. I want y'all to listen to what this woman said here. Shout out to Terrence. Make sure you guys throw some radiation emoji in the chat for Terrence. Do you guys see what's on this damn tweet? Just Pearly Things. You become the villain when you tell women they aren't special, even if it's true. Girl, if you don't take that dry erase marker, shove it somewhere and sit down real hard on it, you better.
To the Just Pearly Things YouTube channel, and welcome to Morning Coffee Thoughts, where I give my thoughts over morning coffee. So, I wanted to talk about how I think a lot of times
her thoughts over morning coffee alone. You know what I'm saying? Like, we gotta make sure we make that distinction. Her thoughts over morning coffee alone. Okay.
Times there are like bailout messages, and how my life would be so much easier if I was more committed to just sounding good rather than saying things that are true. So what do I mean by this? So a lot of times,
that's literally what you've built your empire on. That's literally what you built your empire on. Yeah. Pearl thinks that she's embracing villainy. That's what she thinks. She needs to concentrate on she needs to concentrate on embracing a man. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't embrace villainy. That, you know what I'm saying? That's for a select circle of few, and you ain't one of them. You know what I'm saying?
I get a lot of slack on here, and I saw a comment the other day. It was like, Pearl, like, what's your moving forward message? And what's your solution? Like, they think Pearl's the one with all the solutions because I can identify problems. Pearl needs to prescribe solutions. So, and I have a couple ideas, but I wanted to show you guys what I've just noticed. So let's talk about the perceived value of women. We have all this messaging in society that tells women that we are special and important. And anytime you go against the mainstream narrative and you say, you know what, I actually don't think women are that special or that important, the men and women will just come after you. And it doesn't.
We'll continue. Shout out to Grover. What's good with it, bro?
It doesn't really matter if you have data and facts to back it up. Like, for example, if I say, you know, men aren't really that important or special, I think most men would agree with special. But in terms of important to running a society, that would really be a lie because, again, half of men have infrastructure jobs.
Infrastructure jobs are not indicative of the totality of society, first of all. Second of all, on my channel and literally everywhere and all over my life, I've said that I don't believe the planet Earth is special. And I also don't believe that humans are special. I don't believe that our universe is special. I don't believe that anything is special at all. And if I said anything, that includes women. That includes men. KO Kid Fit said, I can't stand her ass. That's because you're a fitness instructor, KO Kid Fit. And when you see someone who has an ass that's shaped like a moving box, I'm sure it's offensive. You know what I'm saying? I get it. You know what I mean? No doubt, Ash Kiro, you take it easy. Good to have you as always. But if you ever stretched granny panties over a small box, that's what Pearl, you know what I'm saying? That's what she working with back there. You know what I'm saying? I could understand how that would upset somebody.
So half of men have jobs that keep the lights on, the plumbing on, where women's only 7%. Like, I think one of the number one employers of men in the US is like truckers. You know, we need truckers. So this is the perceived value. But you can even say those things and not get that much pushback. But the interesting thing is, if I say women aren't that special or important, I then am demonized and criticized for life. Now, what makes a woman special and important? And I was thinking about this. I have a marker just because I'm a visual person. So maybe I'll, you know.
If you're a visual person and you understand how people's eyes work, then you should try doing videos where you don't show yourself on camera. I think that that's good advice. You know what I'm saying?
Purity, youth, children, right? Just bare bones, you know, femininity. And if I say, you know what, today, let's just take a look around, right? I'm not blind. I don't think most women are that feminine. I don't think most women are that pure. You know, and I was thinking about this body count thing. I was thinking about how under 5 men is the new standard for virginity.
Look, I want you to look at this right here. Hold on. Just said, I don't think women are that feminine. No, I think she was a multi-sport athlete. I think she used to play basketball and I think she played volleyball. She probably wouldn't do bad at a tree climbing contest either. You know what I'm saying?
Femininity. And if I say, you know what, today, let's just take a look around, right? I'm not blind. I don't think most women are that feminine. I don't think most women are that pure. You know, and I was thinking about this body count thing. I was thinking about how under 5 men is the new standard for virginity. You know, I heard a guy on a podcast who's a virgin, and he was a Christian guy waiting for marriage, and he said he'd accept like 5. And I was thinking about how many guys 5 is. That's kind of a lot. Like if you had 5 guys in a room together, you would be like, wow, that's a good amount of people. It's a little party in here. But it's interesting because
what's actually none of what you're talking about is interesting, Pearl. But what is interesting is that when Adam 22 asked you what your body count was, you didn't answer. But you're out here criticizing everybody else. If you're gonna criticize everybody else, at least be like, you know what? I know from experience, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I used to be sitting up here getting my back blown out. That's okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, I respect it if you can, you know, sit there and say something like that. But you can't even do that, though. You know what I'm saying? You're just not going to say anything about your body count. Man, listen, I'm going to tell you something about Pearl, man. The world is correct. When you look like Pearl, you got about 2 options. Suicide, sex, and dine in. And when I say suicide sex, you know what that means. That's why so many ugly men and women are either baby dads or baby moms. She got to know how to break dance on top of a motherfucker on a one-night stand. Because if not, you ain't never seeing nobody ever again. Because no one's going to have the lights on. No one's going to admit to ever doing anything with you. Now, you might get some call back, you know what I'm saying, depending on how you break dance and how you doing that, how you doing that quote unquote handstand, you know what I'm saying? But aside from that though, nah, B, nah, P, you know what I'm saying? That shit ain't happening. And you know that shit. You know that shit. That's just real shit. That's just real. Everybody knew, like, back in the day, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, it was some, you know what I'm saying, some motherfuckers that didn't nobody want to admit to that they was messing around with, and they went back. And the reason why is because of that world is correct moment. They knew if you ain't hitting them with that kamikaze, if you ain't got that suicide sex, ain't nobody coming back. So you either got to do the suicide sex or you got to get pregnant, or ain't nobody coming back. And that's Pearl. And Pearl ain't got no kids, so she's doing the suicide slide. You know what I'm saying?
As like women, we've almost found ways to like navigate this, because women want men to think their perceived value is here. All right. This is what they want. And the problem is we have all this messaging and media that tells us our perceived value is here. It says you're important, you're special, you know, and they feed this to us constantly because the companies are trying to sell to us. The politicians are trying to make us vote for that. Like there's no one really, the men are trying to get us to sleep with them. There's no one being honest with women. And the unfortunate part about being the one that's like, all right, I'm going to be honest, is you just get hate for life. It is like, it would be so much easier to just, yeah. But
how many of y'all seen that live stream, that live stream that Brittany Venti did on her, where she was talking about she couldn't get anyone to go on a date with her? You can't get anybody to go. Come on now, listen. Let's just keep it a buck. There's certain conditions, and people be like, all right, you know what I'm saying? Everybody got the little threshold, you know what I'm saying, where some shit'll go down. You mean to tell me you never even came across anybody that was on their threshold? That is crazy to me. So that means that there is something truly abnormal about her. She went from, do y'all remember that clip where she's on there with Sneeko and she's like, somebody said that they'd pay me $5 just for a phone conversation. So you went from that coffee shop where you was in the coffee shop with Femme Sapien and you said you couldn't get any dick, to all of a sudden somebody gonna pay $500 for you to talk to him on the phone. Girl, bye. Stop it. Stop it. You're not being honest here. And if you're not being honest about your own experience, man, ain't no way you coaching anybody to do anything except fail. You know what I'm saying?
so this is the perceived value of the women. And, you know, maybe this would be the value of the women if we were virgins and offered men like 7 children. But the actual value is more like here. You know, I know that's a little too high. I want to make it lower. Perceived actual. And we let women live in this la la land, right? They let us live in this delusion. For example, all these brides are wearing white on their wedding day when none of them were virgins. So in a way, it's kind of like playing.
I want to know, how deep are you? How many bodies deep in the game are you? She'll never say. But my thing is that, listen, man, there's women that go on these podcasts, porn stars and stuff like that, and they talk about what they got going on and things that they did and stuff like that. Look at Mia Khalifa, right? Mia Khalifa has literally no advice that anybody should listen to ever. But like, at least she ain't lying about her past, though. You kind of can't lie because it's all on camera. You know what I'm saying? But anybody that's been out there in the world, anybody that knows anything about anything, everybody knows to survive, Pearl has to have bodies. She has to have a body count. The way that she's talking about her own dating history, the rejections that she went through, she has to have a body count. So now, why sit there and shame other women about body counts instead of talking about things that you did, shortcomings that you may have had, and where you may have possibly went wrong at, and how to guide people away from going wrong like that? Why not do that? Unbelievable. And I'm going to tell you something else. This isn't embracing villainy at all. Embracing villainy would be doing exactly what I said to do. She's a modern woman. Own and understand that. Know that about yourself. Stop denying it and be who you are and monetize on what you are. You're not wife material. You're not even relationshipable. I mean, and honestly, from your testimony, whether it's true or false, you're one of the few women that if you went up to somebody and handed it to them, they wouldn't take it. Go ahead and embrace being a modern woman and just teach people how to be a modern woman. That will be more authentic.
And pretend like you're pretending to be a wife, you know, it's all just like this show. Like I was thinking about how crazy it is that we have wives coming in that have slept with more than 5 dudes and have children. You have proof of another man's child and you're coming in wearing white. And maybe you guys don't think it's that deep, right? But it just is another example about how the world shields us from consequences. And I think that the only real solution going forward is for women to have consequences. And anyway, so the issue is the men don't want to admit this because a lot of men would realize they've been bamboozled, right? The women don't want to admit this because then the men would then say, oh shit, like then they might actually get what they.
I think that every man can say that, yeah, we've been bamboozled on a lot of things. Shout out to the guys in the comment section. How many guys in here feel like they've been bamboozled about a lot of things in the world? A lot of things were different when you had to come face to face with them and deal with them. I know there's a lot of stuff I have, and I guarantee you there's a lot of stuff in the future that I'm going to come in contact with and be like, damn, I was completely wrong about this. I think that most guys have an easy time admitting that because there's no glory in being a know-it-all. If I sat here and told you guys that I was a know-it-all, I shouldn't be on YouTube. I should actually be enjoying the fruits of my know-it-all labor. But I don't know it all. I don't know shit. I only know the results of the experiences that I've had. And my experiences are not necessarily the same as somebody else's. It's always a red flag when people talk in totality. Beware of that.
Deserve, which, you know, most single mothers don't really deserve marriage. Non-virgins don't deserve marriage. Nobody really deserves anything. But the mindset should be you're lucky if you get it. But the problem is we have media and messaging that's constantly telling us we're special, constantly telling us we should be bailed out of our poor decisions, and nobody tells us the truth. And the truth of the matter is it's far more kind to be honest with women than to constantly tell us we're more important and more special than we are. And at some point, women, we really got to get pissed off because we got to be sick of getting pandered to. And, you know, it would be so much easier for me to say, hey, you know, this is the solution going forward. Get married, start a family, get married young. But in all honesty, that really benefits the women and doesn't benefit the men. And until women start getting our actual value to our perceived value, until we start filling this gap, I really don't see an incentive for men to get married. And, you know, maybe this is a bit hypocritical because I want to get married, but I think, you know, as a society, the best solution would be for women to actually face consequences. Stop marrying the single mothers. You know, stop letting women get away with demasculating men. And be honest with women about our perceived net value. Margot Robbie is mid. I'm so tired of these coping single mothers trying.
So everything that she just named, and shout out to One Thou. All right, bro. I'll catch you later, man. Appreciate you being here. Everything that she said is something that is within a man's control, right? Would you guys agree?
In all honesty, that really benefits the women and doesn't benefit the men. And until women start getting our actual value.
Now, she said until women start getting their actual value.
To our perceived value, until we start filling this gap.
Now, men can operate condition and classical condition that, right? If you don't validate a woman until the woman's value is actually where you feel it should be for it to be validated, that's a decision that you make. because she can get ignored or just not dealt with at all. But it's a lot of dudes that's thirsty, and it's a lot of dudes that simps, and it's a lot of dudes that literally fear they're gonna die never getting any, or they're never gonna get any again. So automatically they just melt and turn into simps in hopes of possibly getting some. It's sad. You know what I'm saying? If we're talking about value, then we're talking about an economy. And that's one of the reasons why when talking about this kind of stuff, people will be like, oh, you're turning me into a material thing. We are material things. If you're talking about value, then you're talking about an economy. And value is determined by the intersection of supply and demand, period. That's just how it works. That's how economy works. Where supply intersects with demand, it creates the equilibrium, which makes the value, or which determines the value. And economics, is a mathematical representation of the sum of all buyer or consumer behavior. It is a numerical representation of psychological human habits. So there's a psychology that goes into determining value. So now, when it comes to these women, are men actually assigning value to the woman, or are men assigning value to their need to get some? If you're assigning value to your need to get some, that'll blanket bump the value of all women by proxy. One way to make this easier is for men to separate the value of getting some versus the value of the woman only. Because the value of getting some and the value of a woman are two different things. However, if those things are mixed together, then you're artificially creating a bubble and bumping the value up of all women inadvertently. And honestly, if you're doing that, that creates an unfair competitive environment for the women who do have high value. Would you guys agree? It's almost like inflation. We're talking about an inflation type situation, operating on a bubble. I actually think Just Pearly Things graph is wrong, because not only do women see themselves as valued higher than they actually are, a lot of men are placing that high value on inappropriate women. And that causes inflation. That's the same thing as speculation when it comes to a product and the stock price is overvalued. Eventually, that bubble is going to pop. And in that situation, when the bubble pops, what happens?
I really don't see an incentive for men to get married. And, you know, maybe this is a bit hypocritical because I want to get married. But I think, you know, as a society, the best solution would be for women to actually face consequences. Stop marrying the single mothers. You know, stop letting women get away with demasculating men.
Stop marrying single mothers. That's a choice that a man can make. A man makes a choice. If you feel that single mothers, quote unquote, are the bane of society, it doesn't make sense for you to then go and marry a single mother. No one's putting a gun to your head to make you do that. That's a choice that you make. So if you make that choice, you chose to do that.
And be honest with women about our perceived met value.
Be honest about women and their perceived value. Again, that's a choice that men have. Men can sit there and lie and coddle and simp and tell women everything that they want to hear, or you can keep it a buck and deal with whatever risks may come with that, but stand on the fact that, nah, I'm going to keep it 100. But there's a lot of men that fear the consequences of keeping it 100. So they tell women and anybody else whatever it is that they want to hear. And you deal with the consequences. You're overvaluing the price.
Margot Robbie is mid. I'm so tired of these coping single mothers trying to act like they're hotties in their 30s. They were probably mid in their 20s. They're probably slightly less mid now. Most people are mid. I was mid at 20. I'll be less mid at 30. This is life. But we've spent a lifetime of, where you can't say things that are true without being criticized. So, for example, I set off conservative Twitter, which is supposed to be based on facts and not feelings, by saying 25-year-old women are hotter than 35-year-old women. I also set off conservative Twitter by saying, hey, women's jobs aren't as important as we think. And instead of sitting back, the women, and thinking, is that true? And if you look at the numbers, sorry, ladies, none of our shit's as important as the men's. Like, we dominate in some fields, but usually those fields suck. You know what? I was looking at this. I was thinking about how dentistry, how I got my wisdom teeth removed and now I have all these jaw issues. And I was literally thinking about whenever women come into an industry.
I can think of a lot of reasons why you have jaw issues that I don't feel like going into right now. Real quick, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys haven't smashed the like button, make sure you guys smash that like button. Also, if you guys haven't hit the bell, make sure you guys hit the bell. And please make sure you guys share the stream to your social media.
Hey, and Preach, I guarantee your wife is probably ugly. I said it.
Yo,
you gave her a ring pop and you licked her at your fucking wedding.
We should fly her up, bro.
Weirdo.
Hey, yo, we should fly her up.
There's a lot of people that are talking about, oh yeah, you know what? They've been doing good. There's food that has a lot of protein, like let's say chicken breast. And it's good for your health.
Gotcha.
All right, and you should have that. And it's great if you want to have nutriments and if you're training and everything and stuff. But if I take a whole dookie in it, it's chicken breast and dookie. Okay, there's a lot of bad. There's some good in there. There's some if you move around the dookie, there's some chicken breast somewhere. Still doo-doo. Not eating that. So if I serve you a plate of Parmesan dookie chicken breast and claiming, yo, there's some chicken breast in there, you're not gonna eat it. It's the same thing. That's their channel. There's some good in there. There's a whole lot of dookie. I don't even understand why some of y'all like, yeah, but they did good in this. You don't even see the bad. You wanna toss the bad out. The bad was there. The salute.
Hey man, like I said, you played yourself.
Yeah.
You were puffing your chest.
Congratulations.
You were puffing your chest loud and proud, talking about I'm on Rumble. I'll do whatever I want. YouTube said word. Okay, well you can go be on Rumble full time, and now you want to cry. Saving children, that was great. But saving y'all was get the fuck out of here. Take all your shit, pack your bags, grab your little plaque. Congratulations on hitting 1 million. Good luck on hitting 2. Okay. All you men crying in the comment section, y'all would not show even 1 ounce of grace to a woman being accused of doing half the shit that this man did. You would have dunked on her, being like,
Western women refuse to take fucking accountability.
Will Fresh and Fit ever take accountability? I mean, there it is right there. He was saying it with his chest out, just like he said.
Being accused of doing half the shit that this man did. You would
have
have dunked on her, being like,
Western women refuse to take fucking accountability.
Actions have consequences. Welcome to a man's world, and y'all defended him to high water. It just turns out that all these red pill losers, right, are going to sip just as hard for men if they idolize them. Y'all notice we didn't cover them for a little while? Why? Why do you think I didn't cover these people for a long time?
Not to be associated.
Let them go make their mistakes. The idea that all press is good press is a lie. I'm even tell you guys, all these like beefs and dramas, now that we're like around 1 to 2 million subscribers, it's not something that you necessarily want to be in all the time. Why? Because YouTube just doesn't like this shit.
Hey, I agree. All of the beef and all of the dramas, it's not something that, if you ask me, it's not really something that's good for your platform. It's not really something that's good for your platform. I've come to learn that, and I don't have anywhere near 1 or 2 million subscribers. And honestly, you should pay attention to people that just can't get along with other people. It's a red flag. It's a warning sign. It's saying something about those people. Now, you know, nobody gets along with everybody, right? There may be one person or two people. There's always going to be somebody out there that you may have a difference of opinion with, or, you know what I mean? Somebody that you don't get along with. But people that don't get along with anybody, something not right about that. And my advice is don't stick around to find out what the problem is. Get away from that situation as soon as possible.
And honestly, it's not that important to my platform in order to get you guys what y'all need. So why would I jeopardize everything I'm working on, the money for my family, the money for my people, for my initiatives, for my community? Why would I jeopardize that so I could argue with two reasons? And this is what I'm saying. I think creators are some of the dumbest people on the planet. And if they're not dumb, okay, they're so ego-driven, right, that they think they're untouchable. And I'm like, nigga, you're on somebody else's platform. You don't have any equity in this thing. You have no rights in this thing. They can literally delete you anytime they want. What do you have to base your ego off of? That's why I be telling folks, this shit could get deleted at any point. If it does, I'm just walking. I have no power when it comes to this platform. Now, sure, there's probably ways I can retain it through websites and off-platform things and little things. Even going to Rumble, you have no equity in the bitch. So people acting like they a boss. That's why I look at creators sometimes and I laugh. You're not untouchable. It just takes one wrong video and everything can get taken away. So when you're walking around big-headed, puffing out your chest, looking at the rules and laughing and spitting in the face of everything like that, right? I'm looking at you like, okay, we'll see how long you last. And they never last. Now, the deal isn't even that bad. Because I'm not the boss, right? YouTube has a payment system in place. They have advertisers that they work with. They funnel me a check every month, okay? Hey, I'm an employee. I might be a little bit more self-employed than a lot of other employees, but I'm an employee. I don't even pretend like it's not my place. But if you want to get those easy checks, because the checks from YouTube are pretty easy, there's certain rules you got to follow. You don't want to follow them, that's fine. YouTube gets to cut you off. You don't get to cry afterwards. So that's why I say creators are some of the dumbest people, okay? They really don't understand what kind of relationship they have with their employer. They don't understand what kind of relationship they have with the platform, and yet they want to act big-chested and act like they're invincible because they're getting cut big checks. You're not getting cut big checks because you're really smart. You're getting cut big checks because you have a lot of followers. That's the only reason. Those two things are not the same. They are not the same.
Yeah, I got to agree with that. If you guys agree with that, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down. And honestly, Fresh and Fit and a lot of these people are just living proof of that. They're literal evidence of everything that Abba just said. Most of these people are not smart. Like I said in the beginning of the video, most of these people don't have original ideas. Most of these people couldn't tell you how to fight your way out of a wet paper bag. They couldn't give you any kind of advice to make your life better. They just got a lot of people that listen to them. And a lot of times, the people that listen to them don't even listen to them for any kind of knowledge or any kind of wisdom or anything that they offer. In many cases, people literally only listen to these people for entertainment purposes, which, if you ask me, that's what people should watch most content on YouTube for. It's very rare when YouTube content actually gives you tangible takeaway information that you can actually utilize in your daily life to make your life better, easier, or more livable. In most cases, on most social media, not just YouTube, on most social media, it's nothing but a bunch of babbling and brain pollution.
The business acumen of some of these people is fucking zero. What businessman wants to throw away his own platform so he can go and raise his hand with white supremacy? business. And this is not even a fresh, this is just a money thing. Some of you guys are going to throw away your whole lives because your ego. You want to throw your careers away because your ego. You work as a lawyer, but you want to be out here having videos of yourself saying the most foul things and publishing on TikTok. Why? Because your ego. You need to be heard saying dumb shit. You want to jeopardize your whole fucking degree. You want to jeopardize your career, everything you've built. Why? So you can be on TikTok for free.
It's like that doctor.
Not even for free. You're going to cost yourself 80 to 90 to 100 plus K a year.
That doctor that lost her whole life. The doctor lost her whole life license. Like, do you understand that she cannot practice no more?
Because she wanted to be on TikTok.
She can't practice. She got to find another job. She got to close out.
Did y'all hear about that doctor? Shout out to Jared. What's good with it, bro? Did you guys hear about that doctor that lost her job and all of that from some posts that she made on TikTok? Like, really?
On a clinic, everything.
Yeah.
Not only that you're costing the job of your employees, but you're done.
Yeah.
For life.
Yeah.
Find yourself something else to do.
Yo. If you want to be out here speaking to men, that's fine. Be smart about how you do it. That's all I got to say. Anything else?
Nope.
All right. Actions have consequences. Ain't that one of your favorite lines? Ain't that what you like to tell these women when you bring them on their platform and you dunking on their head? Yeah. Yeah. We love to see that male vulnerability. Go on. Cry for them.
I'm wild, man.
Let's go.
Hey. Fresh and Fit. They found out the hard way that the world is correct. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. I guarantee you that every single one of you guys, if everybody in here had a YouTube platform that had over 1 million subscribers, even if you had a YouTube platform that was just paying good enough to where you could pay your bills with it, I guarantee you most people would safeguard that with their lives. Fresh and Fit had a life-changing amount of YouTube subscribers. And they threw it away over nothing. And honestly, if you ask me, I don't even think that they listened to their own message, because they created their own hell and they can't even be accountable for how hot it is. But it's just another day on YouTube. Yeah, they threw it away for a pat on the head, John. Facts. We see that all the time. Look at Larry Elder. Yeah, the petty is strong with them too, Shamika. Facts. The petty is definitely strong with them too. So, ladies and gentlemen, players and pimps, I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. If you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit the bell icon twice, smash the like button, share the stream to your social media. Take a moment, make sure you guys subscribe to all my backup channels. A lot of stuff going on today. I'm going to try to get in as much content as possible, and I will catch you all on the next one. All right? Peace.